We were coming back from this event. We'd gone 8:30ish p.m. We had gone somewhere, right? And we were convincing my friend Cam to be like, okay, come to this next thing. We'll only be out until like 9:30 p.m. And he's like, no, like I gotta be awake at 5 a.m. in the morning. And me and my friend PJ kept on trying to convince him. We're like, all right, dude, like it's just one event. Like it doesn't matter. Just pull up. And he kept on saying like, no, no, like I gotta wake up at 5 a.m. And eventually, using peer pressure, we convinced the guy. We were able to get him to come. But there's one question that I asked him that I think has a really important answer. I think it'll help a lot of people. I asked him, why do you wake up at 5? What's your reason? Do you have a valid reason to not come to this event? And he's like, I want to work more. And in my mind, yeah, that's a very valid reason. Okay, you want to work more. You have some goals you want to hit. I think that's fair. But I think the goal that people are trying to reach, most people, including him, including me, the amount of sacrifice needed to get to that point is not as much as you think it is. I think we have similar goals, me and Cam. I think you probably have similar goals as well. You want to get rich. You want to, let's say, minimum $10 million. You want to get super jacked. Like, I understand this stuff. And that comes with sacrifice. If you want to get jacked, you're going to have to give up junk food. If you want to get rich, you're going to have to give up some social events. If you want to XYZ, you're going to have to sacrifice something. If you do one thing, you're missing out on 1,000 other things because you chose that one thing. But again, I don't think that sacrifice is as necessary as you think it is. I'll give you a story. I really wanted to keep my six-pack and my vascularity. So when I flex in the mirror, then I can see like all the veins popping out, and my veins pop out everywhere else, even in forbidden places. I love to see that, right? And so, I just did whatever I could to maintain that. So I did a bunch of research. I was like online, like, how can I keep my veins? How can I keep my six-pack? I just took all the advice I could. I avoided sugar. When I say avoided, I mean like I didn't touch it for months. I look at the milk carton and it would say like 12 grams of sugar. I'd be like, nope. I stopped drinking milk after that day. I looked at the thing, it said 12 grams of sugar, put it away. Haven't touched it since. I mean, now occasionally, I'll explain why I touch it now, but, I love touching milk. I love touching a lot of things. Yeah, but, I didn't eat milk. I look at fruits and it'd be like, those like little mini oranges? I'd search it up, like, okay, how much sugar does this have? And it would say like, oh, it has like 8 grams of sugar. And I was like doing the math in my head. I'm like, okay, if there's like 6 slices, that means like there's like 1.15 grams of sugar in each slice. So let me just have one little slice of this orange. So I'd take like one tiny piece of a slice of like those little oranges, peeling it. I'd just put the rest away. Like, it was so stupid. And this is sacrifice, right? This is like me giving up everything to keep it. And here's the thing, it worked. Like I got my six-pack, I got my vascularity, and I kept it for a very long time. Like I maintained it forever. But then one thing threw me off. Because even though I had to sacrifice all this stuff I couldn't eat, sure, I did all that. Firstly, I lost a lot of energy. Because once you're low body fat, then you can't do anything. And this kind of clicked for me when I went to this party. It's my friend's birthday party. And, whatever is normal. We had some snacks. I don't mind a snack every so often, right? They had protein. I'm like, okay, let me grab some chicken. Whatever, right? And then he brings out this nice, like, fudge chocolate cake. It's just like, you can see the warmness dripping off the side of the cake. It was just like melted chocolate on top. And, like, he knows how much I love black things. I love black food. I love dark chocolate. I love black people. Like, anything that's black, I love. And so I was just staring at it like, dude, like, I was licking my lips. I was looking at him licking my lips. I was looking at everyone licking my lips, My lips are just moisturized. And I'm just like, I want this cake. I really want it, but I know I gotta keep I'm keeping my six-pack. And my friends kept on egging me on. They're like, yo, come, it's my birthday, bro. Grab a slice. Like, it's not gonna hurt you. And I was just like, no, I can't, bro. I'm sorry. And that day I didn't eat the cake. Yeah, I went home, whatever is normal. Like, I usually deny a lot of stuff. That's the sacrifice that comes with it, right? But then a few weeks later, when I went back to him, not a few weeks, sorry, a few days, went back, we just had a normal conversation. He's telling me how his mom felt bad because she had baked the cake herself. It was a really nice cake from what he told me, from my friends told me. And again, it looked amazing. And his mom felt bad that I didn't eat it. She's like, why didn't he eat it? Did he not like it? Is he not? Everybody told her like, oh, I was on this little diet. I was on, whatever. I don't really care about that. I don't really care what other people think. For me, it was more like, I made someone feel bad. I don't like doing that. Because I could have made them feel great. I'm never gonna meet this person again, probably. Sure, I don't really care much, but it's such a small thing that you need to do to make someone happy, which is to just eat the cake and compliment them. It's a wonderful cake. I loved it, man. It was amazing. If I could have done that, I could have made her day way better. She was really sad about it. She even saved a slice for me a few days after, and that was the day I ate it. I ate the cake. I ate that black cake because I love black things. And from that day onwards, I'm like, I was really scared. I'm like, okay, what if I gain fat? I went home, I searched it up. I'm like, oh, if you eat one slice of cake, can you gain fat? And then it was like articles scaring me, like, oh yes, you'll gain 0.03% of fat. I'm like, oh, shit, like, I'm about to get fat. But then I went on an experiment after that. I still thank this guy's mom for giving me that cake and making me feel guilty. I went on a little experiment. I'm like, how much can I eat and still maintain what I'm at? So what I started doing is every night I'd have dessert. Every single night. I had these little French crepes. I don't know where they are. I eat them like every night, around 200, 300 calories. My diet didn't really change much. So sometimes I ate more, sometimes I ate less. But I just overall started caring less about my diet. I would still eat healthy, of course. I wouldn't go on a binge. I would just eat a little bit more, just literally one little French crepe. I still mostly avoided sugar as much as I could. I ate as much protein as I could throughout the day, except I gave up one for sacrifice, which was that sugar thing, right? Now I could touch sugar. Okay, you can go touch sugar. And what I noticed is after doing this for 3-4 months, I still had my six-pack. I had all the vascularity. My body weight stayed the same. I looked the exact same after eating French crepes. I didn't need to sacrifice all of that to keep where I'm at now. I'm like, interesting. So then I started getting loose a little bit more. I'm like, okay, what if I start eating a little more cake? And if I go to parties, okay, I'll try the sweeter stuff. I'll try out these drinks. I started having a bit more milk, right? Exact same thing. I just didn't gain. I still had my six-pack. I still had my vascularity. I could still flex in the mirror and see all the veins coming off my arms. Wonderful. In my mind, I was like, I sacrificed all these months for nothing. It was an unnecessary sacrifice. And so I applied that same exact concept to my workouts. Because every single week, I'd work out 6-7 times a week, right? And sometimes I just wanted to maintain muscle. I didn't really want to grow. I'm trying to build wealth. So I was just trying to maintain muscle. I didn't take anything to failure or whatever. But what I did, I'm like, how little do I need? I asked myself. I experimented. I'm like, how little do I need to work out to maintain my muscle? So I went straight from 6-7 days a week. I went down to 3 days a week. And what I started doing differently was I started training to failure for each 3 of those days. And I did that for 2 months. Exact same results. I didn't lose any muscle. Then I'm like, what if I go a little more extreme? 2 days a week. So sometimes I do Monday and Friday. Sometimes I just do Tuesday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Saturday. As long as I got in twice a week. Just not back to back. Had to be a day of rest in between. That's it. That's all I did. Just one upper, one lower day. 2 full body days. And exact same result. Lost 0 muscle. Vascularity, six-pack was still there. I didn't even train my abs at this point. I stopped training abs. I still had it. To this day, I still have a six-pack. So I realized I didn't need to sacrifice as much as I think I needed to keep what I had. And actually what was interesting is now I'm at 4 days a week, right? So I'm still way less than where I was before, which was 6-7 days a week. And I started this 4 days a week thing back in October-ish, late October. And now it's mid-December. Back then I weighed around 150-ish pounds, 149 pounds. Now I'm at 157. Same body fat percentage. I can still see my vascularity, still have my six-pack. I gained 8 pounds of muscle by working out less and simply eating more protein and working out harder. That is the only difference I made. So I'm doing less work, but getting a greater result. Isn't that insane? And before I was sacrificing all this stuff just to get to that point. And so my concept what I'm trying to get across to Cam and other people who are trying to reach these goals is that you don't need to sacrifice as much as you think you need to get to where you want to. If you're working every hour of your day, then you're probably not working on the right thing if you're not making progress really quickly. Firstly, you can't sustain output every single day. Secondly, I don't think that you should be working all day because you're giving up so much other stuff that you could be doing. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, if you want to do it, if you genuinely wake up and you're like, man, I really want to do what if you genuinely wake up, you're like, man, I really want to do what I'm doing right now, go for it. But this passion should be something that, like, you can wake up at 2 a.m. You're like, dude, I want to start working right away. That's what that passion should be. Because I've had that for YouTube. For a short period of time, I was really like that. I was like, man, like I would wake up middle of the night and have ideas for videos, and I'd write it down and go back to sleep. Like, that's how it would be for me sometimes. And still sometimes that happens. That's why I really love working on it. So when someone says like, oh, you need work-life balance, I don't believe in that. I think that's just an opinion. The fact is that there is a certain amount of work needed to get to a state. Let's say you want to get to 10 million, and the minimum threshold for that, let's say, theoretically, is 10,000 hours of work. So it doesn't matter if you spend 1,000 or 950. It's just going to take you maybe an extra 50 hours to get to that goal, if that makes sense. And if you're working smarter, if you figure out the right things to get to that goal, you don't even have to work 10,000 hours. If you have the right knowledge, it might take you 7,000 hours, right? If you get people ahead of you to help you out, it might be 3,000 hours. You never know. This is the stuff that, like, a lot of people don't tell you, because they say just, wow, work hard, just keep on grinding, all this stuff. Get up, 4 a.m. motivation, David Goggins. Slap your balls for motivate. Like I don't get those, firstly. And secondly, if you have to motivate yourself to do something, then you probably shouldn't be doing it in the first place, because you're not going to be doing it for a long time. Motivation doesn't last very long. And if you're going to do something, for me, fitness, there are periods in my life where fitness, like, doesn't become a priority. I want to keep my body, right? Health is a priority, and I can work out. I know now how much I need to work out to maintain that muscle to stay healthy. But that's it. That's like the minimum effective dose. Now that I know the minimum required, I can push at that minimum required. And if I'm smart enough, I can excel at that minimum required compared to people who are putting in more hours than me. So my point is simply that I think you will probably, when you end up older, when you end up at 30, when you end up at 25, you will most likely reach your goals. But at that time period, you'll give up all of your money, every single thing that you did, every single thing that you bought, to be back at the age of 17, at the age of 18, 19, 20, and to just live this time period again. That's what I think is the most important. Truly. No amount of money in the world can bring back that time. Ever. Unless somehow you're like a scientist and you invent like a time machine. Which you probably won't, let's be real. Actually, you might. I don't know. Maybe I got like a quantum physicist watching. That'd be cool. It's better to live out what you're doing now and do something right now that you really love doing, rather than putting it off for the future. Because the future is undetermined. Right now is determined, and you get to choose that determination. So when Cam was in that moment, he chose that moment of spending more time. Even though it may not have been the best time, even though it may have been like not like the best event, it's still something that you get to do that is different from the norm. It's an event regardless. And if you don't do these, here's another reason, right? I know a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to wait until I'm like 30 to start dating. It's not like you're going to hit 30 and know how to date. Like, you're not going to sit there and like it's your 30th birthday and you just get shot with knowledge in the brain of like, man, now I know how to talk to like, no, that's not how it works. It's a thing that you have to learn, and you learn it over time. People who believe like you hit 30, you hit your peak at 35. Like, bro, when you're rich, you'll get all the, like, sure, you will probably get more women if you're rich, but like, are those the women you want to be with? That's a question you should ask yourself. If it was only for the money, is that people that you want to be with? Right now, personally, I'm trying to find ways to balance out a lot of things. I don't believe in the typical work-life balance where they're like, oh, you got to spend some time. I'll spend whatever time I want. If I want to work for a week straight, I will do that. I like to sometimes bounce between things because I know if I work for a week straight, I probably won't be able to work for a while after that. So then I have fun for like a few days, 2, 3 days, pure fun. Sometimes I just relax. As long as I'm making progress towards my goals, that's all that matters. It might take me from 5 years of time to 10 years of time to accomplish that goal, but I know I'll accomplish it if I do the stuff. If I do the thing, I'll get there regardless. Right? Here's another concept, right? You could drink all day, you could watch porn, you could masturbate, you could anything, right? You could eat junk food all day. If you work out 5 times a week to failure, it is guaranteed that in 5 years you will make muscle. You will have at least muscle. It's the same thing with making money. Let's say you have a sales job, right? Or sales work, right? Whatever. You have a business which you sell stuff to people. If you have that business for 5 years and every single day you call up 100 people and try to sell them something, it is guaranteed that in 5 years you will most likely be making a lot of money. If 100 people you call every single day. And so that's the guarantee I'm looking for. Where input, output, that's it. Everything in between is fluff. It doesn't matter what cold showers you take or if you follow your morning routine at 5 in the morning. If you can do that, you will make progress towards your goals. So I think find your priorities, find who you're comparing yourself against. Sure, you may be better than the average guy. You may be better than XYZ type of person, but is that the person you're really trying to beat? Or are you just trying to be a better version of yourself? All right. That's it. That's it for me, though.